Hello everybody and welcome back to the pre-production meeting. This is episode 2 of season 3, but also episode 53 overall. I'm your co-host Josh Urquhart.
And I'm your other co-host Daniel Kogola.
And today is another special edition of the podcast. We said we'll be bringing bigger and better guests this year, guys. We'll be changing it up a bit. And, you know, this is coming straight off Dan right here's set. So firstly, Dan, before we get into the nitty gritty of it, again, we'll do a whole episode on the set and how it runs next time. But briefly, how are you feeling about it all?
I'm feeling great. The shoot went super smooth. Like, I mean, it's sort of a testament to the 3 months of preparation that we did.
Yeah.
But, you know, you never really know how much luck you're going to have in terms of, I always say Murphy's Law, you know, what can go wrong will go wrong. But in this instance, not much went wrong.
No.
So, you know, the weather held out. Everyone in the crew got along really well. Yeah, everything went super smooth.
Everybody says something always goes wrong, but I've noticed on Austin's recent, on my recent, and your recent, nothing's really gone wrong.
Yeah, which sometimes makes me worry because it's like, is something going to go wrong later, like in the edit? Because you're always just waiting for that moment when the pin drops.
Yeah. And how are you finding it playing around with your own original footage right now?
Yeah, good. Like I've sort of skimmed through it, and then it's been, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks since we shot, and we've already got an assembly and a first cut after that.
Amazing.
Because Lockie is just speeding through the edit. So it's looking good. I'm happy at the fact that the whole story seems to be there and it's engaging, which again, props to Anya for writing such a concise script that, you know, it's a 6-minute script. Mind you, I think the film is going to end up a lot longer because it is horror and there's, you know, you got to build the suspense. You have these long takes where things are sort of drawn out a bit. So the assembly was about 12 minutes long. The next cut is 10 minutes and 45 seconds, so trimmed a little bit. It'll probably end up being around 9 minutes, I'd say.
That's good, man.
So, yeah.
That's what film festivals love, not a 24-minute chunk of a film.
Yeah, how are you finding that?
No. Look, honestly, I haven't heard back yet from any of them because all the notification dates start from like April onwards.
Yeah.
But it's getting very exciting, man.
Yeah.
It's getting very exciting with
great.
that all. I had a meeting this morning with Federico about what's happening in the next year or so, and we got the soundtrack for Ozmar coming out next month.
Oh, great.
Which
I'm going to have that on repeat.
Yeah, bro, he's mastered it even better than it was in the cinemas. So that will be releasing on Spotify soon. He's just got to do like a couple more things with it. And then we started talking about the next project, and he's sending me a demo for one of the songs in the next movie by the end of next month, which is incredible because we haven't even really...
As in the one you've been writing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
There's one song that kind of goes over and over again throughout the script. So I thought I wanted a bit of a demo because we've got to record it before shooting even starts so we can plan some shit around.
And how are you going with the length of your script? Because didn't you say it was something like 40 pages?
Well, it's about 36 pages at the moment. So I'm like, look, 35. I was able to cut
that's
it down.
all right then, yeah. Makes a big difference.
But it is the best thing that I've written. And since you guys gave me your feedback, I've sent it to a couple people. Shout out Martin Cohen. I sent it to him and he was reading it and he called me and he was like, dude, I was in tears. I was laughing. It's like, this is incredible.
That's great.
Which is really nice because it means that I've improved from the feedback that you guys gave me, which was really, really fucking helpful. And then Federico as well. Hearing him talk about it this morning, I won't go too far into it, but like saying he's got goosebumps.
So is he making you music that you're going to create the film around, or is it just for you to listen to while you write?
I can't say too much, but there is a particular... This is external from the soundtrack, so this is a song that we're making for the actual film itself. So he's helping with that, and it's going to be a collaboration, hopefully with... I can't say, but yeah, it's a whole thing, but it's looking good. It's looking up and, really excited. So we're just Connor. I had a dream last night that Connor was fucking chasing me for the script. He tracked me all the way to work and was like, where's the fucking script? Anyways, guess what? About an hour ago, I got a message from Connor going, hey bro, how's the script going?
Was he friendly in real life?
Yeah, he was. But because he responded to the story of Federico that I put up. It was just funny. I was like, bro, you would not fucking believe this. I dreamed about you last night. Anyway, so me and Taha have another session next week and we're going to finalize it and then we'll send it out and I'll create a Bible with it. And the way that I'm going to create the Bible this time is pretty interesting. I'm going to create, it's going to be massive and half of it will be for people to read before they read the script. Then there will be an intermission kind of where they have to read the script, and then an after part of the Bible for after they read the script as well.
Wow.
So a lot of it,
very interesting.
Yeah, there has to be a whole, it's because it's non-linear, so I'm having to put in diagrams, and I'm excited.
Amazing,
it's going to be good. But yes, anyways, without further ado, the two guests that we have on today are some of the most incredible, experienced, yet up-and-coming talents both me and Dan have worked with in the acting field. After a combined 20-plus hours of rehearsals between our two movies and 6 whole shooting days with the both of us, I would say we know each other quite well, and maybe too well, which in all will create a chaotic and amazing podcast, which is why we had to get them both on. They both dabble on stage in different worlds, but have come together as the main characters in myself and Dan's latest films. It's Jared Keane and Emily Mckendry. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Woo! How are we feeling?
Good.
Is this your both first podcast, or have you dabbled in this kind of world before?
No, first one, popping the cherry.
I've dabbled.
Fantastic. You've dabbled? Have you guys, by any chance, I reckon you guys should create your own podcast. What do you think about that?
No, I think anyone who has a podcast is just such an arrogant wanker.
Yeah, look, man, we try our best. We try our best. All right.
No, I've had a podcast before, and it's not my vibe. It's not.
Yeah.
You were
Not
hosting
my
it?
skill set. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, I can imagine you both hosting a podcast. It's a lot of work to keep going weekly.
It's the consistency, I think, that's the hardest
Yeah,
part.
that's what was killing me.
Yeah.
And I'm just shit at marketing.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You are constantly marketing on here, so you are fantastic at marketing. You are.
Tell
You
that
are.
to the 5 people who listen to my podcast.
There you go. Well, I mean, we don't get that much like listeners as well. We just like
No, you can look
mean,
at
we
the
try,
artwork
yeah.
of my podcast and be like, yeah, that's crap.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't even get the sound right. I didn't get a cool studio.
yeah. Look, man, we pay a lot of money to be here.
Yeah.
Each week we actually built this set
What's so
ourselves
funny,
as
Emily?
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing.
What's funny?
I was just, the ambiance. It's just incredible. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. You know what? Out.
I will say, I am feeling generally good, but I'm also kind of in a bad mood now because I didn't get a look at the whole religious script.
Oh.
That.
Not many people have. I think a whole number of 3 or 4 people have seen it so far.
Well, that's you gotta round that up to 5.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, considering it's about time, I think it's about time that we got to read the script.
Oh, Emily, that was very good. Give us a dad joke.
All right.
I'm so over it.
I
Just
got
on set, she's just dropping them.
no, I got 2, but it depends. I'll give you one. You can
Yes.
pick one. Do you want the PC one or the like the non-PC?
Non-PC.
Like have to
Oh.
have the non-PC.
All right.
Oh, it depends how non-PC
You know what?
it
I'll
is.
give you both because then you
Okay.
can pick which one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys hear, that's what we went for in the
Alright.
podcast.
So, okay. I won't say the first one.
Okay.
No, the first one.
Yes.
Why can't dinosaurs clap?
Why?
Because they're dead.
Ooh.
It's not even a joke. It's just like straight facts. I'm kind of sad now.
Sad about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what's the next one?
And then the first one.
Yeah.
So
I see what you did there.
a pack of kangaroos
Uh-huh.
is called a mob.
Okay.
A pack of camels. That's why your dad left.
Oh.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
They're cigarettes.
Oh.
Wait, called camels?
Yeah.
Oh,
Camel cigarettes.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's not
Well,
super
that one
non-PC. That's
that
all right.
went well. That went real. So we'll go with the actual
Yeah,
first
Dan,
one.
you can choose what you put in. Add in a little like
on.
studio clapping effect or something in the background.
Emily,
there.
Laugh track.
I'll just take some footage of us from the other podcast, like laughing our heads off.
You can redeem
take that
yourself.
clip.
Tell them the one with all the racial slurs you love.
Yeah, let's not.
You're lovely,
all right,
Jared.
all right. Let's get into this, guys. This is the first intro point, just if people don't know who you are.
Yes.
Where are you guys at individually, right? You guys can answer this separately. Where are you guys at in your character arc of being an actor in the industry? Yeah, that's right.
Who should we start with first, Jared?
Yeah, Jared, kick us away, my friend.
I don't even know how to answer that question. Where am I in my character arc?
Yeah. Like, where would you place yourself on the timeline of you
I'm
being
still
an
waiting for the
actor?
inciting incident. To be honest.
There.
He's like-
perfect answer, mate.
Simultaneously waiting for that, but washed up at the
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the death
equals stasis part where something needs to change.
What about you, Em?
I would say that, you know, those people that just work hard and slog and then never become anything. That's what.
Holy shit!
Oh.
That was a joke to be. Sorry. Jeez,
sorry,
okay.
Carry on.
No, like I feel because I'm still relatively new to screen acting. Like I've been doing quite a theatre for quite a few years now in Sydney. So I think I'm just kind of getting really starting to pick up some momentum with screen. So
yeah,
it's good.
Are you allowed to say? We can cut this out. Are you allowed to say what happened this morning? Oh no.
I can
briefly.
I booked a job.
Nice.
What
can
that's
you say?
Confidential.
Nice.
With a high profile.
With actor. A high profile actor.
Very good.
There we go.
Amazing. What do you guys want to kind of give us a brief, build on that little bit on, you know, where you guys kind of came from to get to the place where you are now, I guess, so people have a bit of an understanding of your background and stuff like that.
Well, I come from a very upper class background. I'm from Taree.
Nice.
And so, you know, I did, you know, like just drama during school and things like that. I always knew it was what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And then I went out to Wagga Wagga.
Wagga Wagga.
Yeah, the high seat of acting training in
Brilliant.
Australia.
Nice. Brilliant.
But I love my time there. So I did a 3-year Bachelor of Acting. Mm-hmm. And then November 2018, I moved to Sydney. And the day I moved to Sydney, I actually got a job with a true crime tour company. And from that kind of led to a whole thing where you really don't know what opportunities are going to come out from what, because I almost cancelled that audition because I moved to Sydney that day. I was so tired and I was like, I can't start off my whole Sydney journey cancelling, you know, my first ever audition. And so I went, and then from that I ended up performing in over 200 theatre shows as an interactive actor, and I ended up theatre production manager, managing for that company for several years, writing my first plays through that company, you know, producing through that company, and now I've started my own theatre company. That all came because I didn't cancel that one audition.
Plug it.
Yeah. Oh, Odyssey Theatre.
Odyssey
Theatre Company. So it's, specializes in interactive theatre or innovative theatre in some way. So
amazing.
Check it out. But make sure you go to odysseytheatre.com.au.
Yes.
Not .com, because we
Is
ain't
that different?
America.
Yeah. And how's that all going for you?
It's going well. There is so much involved with, I knew there's a lot involved with producing a show, but producing a show through your own company, that's a different ball game.
Yeah,
so
right.
there is so much stuff that you wouldn't even consider, which there's no way I could do it by myself. So I've got a fantastic team. So shout them out, Caitlin, Beck.
Shout out Caitlin, Beck. Amazing.
Yeah, like it is.
Shout out.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
But, you know, it's like the more you do things in this industry, the more you realize it is so reliant on collaboration.
Yes.
With other people. If you try and do it yourself, it's going to take you so long and just be such, you know, a marathon. Whereas if you involve other people and work with other people, don't get me wrong, it's probably still going to be a marathon, but at least there's like people holding out drink bottles and snacks along the way. So
I get you.
Yeah.
100%. And like it's also like important to, like, you can still be in a collaborative environment, but having those right people to collaborate with. Like, we've been on sets where it's just been trugging along and it's a pain in the ass. And what we were just saying before the podcast, you know, the last couple of sets we've been on, we've surrounded ourselves with people that we work well with, and nothing, fingers crossed, has gone wrong as of yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt that. Continue, Emily.
So interrupted. But no, so that's like kind of the theatre side. Yep. And then my first like real kind of proper short film was Ozmar.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
How did you find that as your first short film? What was the experience like?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I'll say that loud. I loved it.
Actually, sorry, elaborate on that, and then I'm going to ask you, how did you find that compared to being on my film?
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to compare you.
Who's better? No,
it's more so the fact that she went from a small supporting role to the lead.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And change of genre.
Yes.
As well. So, I mean, I loved Ozmar. When I first kind of saw the casting, I thought it was this small, tiny little,
so did I.
Little world. And then more and more people kind of started joining the little Facebook group. I'm like, this is getting quite sizable, isn't it? And then it came to I got the call sheet and I was like, whoa.
You have to scroll?
Yeah. And then the first day on set, because it was my first day, it was day 3, I believe.
Yeah.
For all of you. I showed up at that, that beautiful venue, Castlereagh Boutique.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
And I walked in and I was like, we're playing now, son. Like, it was, I don't know why I did that.
Fair enough,
American, but it was amazing. Like the sheer scale of it was amazing, and I loved that doing because my scene was quite comedic, and I loved doing it with Jared, who is a comedian, because we just bounced off each other.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
I really couldn't have asked for a better first experience. I think.
Cool.
Yeah, on set. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah. And then moving on to Dan's film.
A sweet costume as well.
Yeah, the costumes as well.
I loved it.
Fantastic.
I loved Mrs. Fanshawe.
Mrs. Fanshawe. Gonna get her own spin-off.
Oh, well, she better.
But yeah, moving on
moving on.
to Dan's set. How did you find that?
Change of genre.
Yeah, right.
Change of pace.
Yeah, cool.
I loved it for in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Because I loved the sheer scale of Ozmar. I loved how stripped back in comparison Barren felt.
How intimate.
I wasn't wearing a fancy costume.
Yeah.
I didn't even I looked like crap, on purpose, hopefully. But because it was really just stripped back to this, it was a story about this couple. And it just stripped it back to that and the simplicity of that, which ended up being like the messiness of that and really being able to delve into those characters for, yes, a horror, but I would also really say a drama.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, being able to kind of delve into that. It was a challenge. I play a lot of comedic roles. I don't do a lot of drama. I love it. I just don't get the opportunity to do it very, very much. And so being able to be in that environment, which was so collaborative and such a fantastic group of people working together, I love that. It felt like a tight-knit little family.
Yeah.
And I had a ball. I also like stabbing Jared. So.
Fantastic. And you did mention that, your first scene was with Jared, who is a comedian. Now, Jared, would you like to give us a little rundown where you are in your character arc? Where did you come from and where you are now, my friend?
Where did I come from? Where did I go?
Yeah, I did you go?
I've been married a long time ago. Right, fuck.
Yeah.
Life story.
Life story time, my friend.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll start right at the start. I also, as soon as I knew about films and acting, I wanted to do it. I was really, really cocky. I remember being in primary school and just prancing around I know what I'm going to do when I grow up.
Yeah.
Really annoying. So I was wanting to be a child actor and do any play, any production, anything I could get my hands on. And that continued all through high school. I was able to do plays all throughout high school and even short films. We got to make a couple of short films in media studies in year 9 and 10, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I left the first high school. I don't want to go into that story. But anyway, I went to Newtown Performing Arts for high school for year 11 and 12, and fully with the belief that I'm going to be an actor. I want to be a serious actor. People don't believe me because they know I've done stand-up for most of my adult life. But I always wanted to be in both comedies and serious dramas. I idolized Jim Carrey and Robin Williams for that specific thing.
Of course.
So I want to do that. And then I had such a bad experience the beginning of year 11 at Newtown High. They do 2 plays a year, so there's lots of chances to perform and then lots of little things.
Yep.
But the first play I got cast in, you don't get a choice. You just do a monologue and they just pick you for a thing. So the first experience I had was this really avant-garde, weird as hell play with this very old lady who was she kind of, the villain in Matilda?
Sure.
It's like that. She just fucking hated us.
Yeah.
She was so rude, looked down her nose at us.
Yeah.
It's we're all 16.
Yeah.
But she looked at us like we were 10 or something. Just yeah. So she never tried to explain anything. And I just thought the whole vibe of acting, of that kind of, do you know what I mean? With like overly theatrical, sort of wanky, pretentious.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
It was such a turn off for me that I was like, ooh, I don't care about acting. So the whole point of going to that school was to hone my acting craft and hopefully get to the stage where I would get into NIDA. But I was just like, I don't know. So I got more interested in writing, and then I spent my first years out of high school writing a shit ton of poems that I hope never see the light of day.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It was pretty bad.
Pretty bad?
Yeah, it took me a long time to figure out how to write. I remember getting compliments like, oh, you have talent, just you need to work on the skill.
Yeah, right.
But that's every writer out there. It's very hard to write effectively because there's so much to it. It's like you've got to figure out story structure, and then you've got to figure out dialogue.
Characters.
And like the flow of dialogue is like a multifaceted thing. So it's like dialogue that's efficient, dialogue that reveals character, but in a way that's not too on the nose. Like it has to have so many different layers to it and meanings, and it's very difficult. So
even just getting a story together is like so hard. So when you try and jump to the end of, well, I want it to also be really nuanced and I want it to be really beautiful and poetic and meaningful. It's like just figure out fucking A to B
what it's about.
The story.
It's also super hard doing it by yourself. I've realized. Yeah, I mean, writing itself, I reckon you can do both. But like I've found, like definitely like conceptualizing and coming up with ideas is so much better when you have somebody to do it with you as well.
Yeah, but then you also have to go through the learning experience of how to be humble and how to accept feedback.
Yes. My God, yeah.
How to understand why they're giving you suggestions and how to sort of like take the suggestions and then just swat them away and go, okay, which ones work and which ones don't. Real hard.
It is.
It's 100%. A very personal thing, and it does hurt when you get that feedback. Sometimes it's not what you want to hear, but you've just got to, if you really care about what you're doing and you want it to be the best that it can, you've got to take that feedback and keep on going.
Exactly.
Yeah, so after high school, that's when I focused on doing stand-up comedy because you don't need anyone else.
Yeah.
I didn't need anything except to just go to pubs and just practice doing stand-up. And so that's kind of what I did for all of my 20s.
Yeah, right.
Was do that. And then as my 20s were winding down, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to explode with stand-up comedy, because my goal was to succeed in stand-up and then be able to jump back into the acting world that I'd left behind. And then, as I was getting older, I was like, let me just figure out a different path into it, because I was kind of losing interest in stand-up. And then I just started doing the usual things, student films, whatever I could get, web series and stuff. And then I went to film school and was like, learned how to do all the behind the scenes and just everything. And then all the connections. And that's kind of just what I've been doing for the last few years.
And now you're back to comedy as well, though, right? You're taking the show on the road, Jared.
I still do stand up, yes, but...
Your show was fantastic.
It was great.
We talked about it on here.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did.
Listen to that episode.
We did, but you're taking it to Newcastle now and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yeah. So next month, I'll be doing 2 shows. The Friday and Saturday before St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yes.
I'm expanding even more
on
my roots and my connection with my father. And so that sort of, especially because it's in Newcastle, which is where I was born.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Yeah. I was supposed to grow up there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I didn't.
Yeah, right. Well, then...
That's mean. I'm sorry, Newcastle. You're not there. Please come and see my show in Newcastle.
Tari has left the chat.
the show's fantastic. So if you guys are around...
It's definitely worth checking out, guys.
We'll definitely plug it on the social medias and stuff. So if you're around, go visit the shows. But I think this leads us into the next kind of questions, and I think you both can answer this. You come from a theatre background. You come from a comedy background. What are your... I guess preferences, like in terms of like, do you prefer theatre, do you prefer comedy, and where's the crossover when it comes into like, what skills can you take from your world that you're now using in the kind of film world?
So, okay, I guess I'll answer first. So I'll start off by saying I love theatre and I also love screen because of their differences.
Yep.
So theatre, I fully believe that everyone who loves theatre is a junkie.
Right.
I know where you're going with this.
It is. Hi, Mum and Dad.
Wait, who likes going to visit or likes being in it?
Being in it.
Oh, right.
Being in it.
So not the people that love theatre and love going to see Frozen at the whatever. They're all junkies. Is that what you're saying?
8-year-old
No,
kids.
The Elsa lovers?
Oh, I love the snow. Yeah, no. No, I'm talking about like as like being a theatre actor, because theatre, the very nature of it is live.
Yeah,
you
crazy.
only get one take.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you fuck up.
Yeah,
you have to fix it in that moment. You have a paying audience right there that is waiting for they don't know what happens next. So you have a split-second chance to pull something out of your ass and fix it. And often in the shows where that happens, especially interactive theatre, where sometimes audiences, you cannot predict what an audience will do. They've done some of the weirdest shit you've ever seen.
The audience,
in interactive theatre, because they're part of the show, and
that's hard.
Of course.
That must
sometimes they love just messing with the actors, and other times they really just like dumb as shit.
That's like I'm sure that's like comedy audiences as well, like with hecklers and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Have you experienced that much?
Of course. I've been doing stand-up for 20 years.
What's that like?
Yeah, when you get a heckler that just won't shut up.
I mean, they vary. You know, there's no monolithic heckler. There's just, especially because I've done lots of, I've mostly done bad gigs.
Jared, not this one though, you lads. If you guys want to go see the new show,
No, I mean, I've been on bad shows.
Yes,
I've been on shows
fair,
that are at bad venues.
Yep.
Like where people don't have to pay to come in; they just leave a donation, or it's this, that, or the other. So I've done lots of shitty shows like that. And the heckling is usually people just trying to be funny. They don't like that there's something going on in the pub that they're at. And the majority of ones beyond those, even in like a good venue, most of the hecklers will be a dude who's trying to impress people, who thinks he's funnier than the comics.
Yeah.
Maybe young, maybe very old. But then the other main one, I think, I'd say the majority of hecklers are drunk, young, hot women.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy. Can you name or tell any stories of experiences that stick out to you? And I'm going to ask you next with theatre as well. So keep
Actually,
thinking.
no, I got to split that in two, really, because there's young, hot women who obviously just don't care about anything that's not them. Like the super vain, self-indulgent people who get too drunk, 2 Pinot Grigios, and they don't even realize that they're heckling. They're just talking to their friends really loudly.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Fair.
But yeah, no, I should split that, because actually it's more common that they're 45 plus.
Yeah.
And they're trying to help the show.
Help the show? Really? Quotations?
Yep. And then after the show, they'll come up and get real handsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my God, you were so funny. You're so good at this. Are you being for real about that? You're single. I don't know how. I think you're going. Oh, someone better lock you down. Come here. And you just see the red wine-stained teeth. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, crazy.
Man.
Do you get that much in theatre, Em?
45-year-old women hitting on you.
There's 2 stories in particular that stick out to me from my interactive theatre life. One of them was just she just wasn't very intelligent.
Yeah, right.
And, we open up for a questions segment, and I was doing this show and I was playing a cop, and she asked this question. I don't even remember what she asked. I just remember everyone was quiet for a moment because everyone was digesting what she'd said and being like, what? Like,
And what did she say?
I don't even remember. It was just one of the dumbest questions I've ever heard.
Okay, right.
Like, everyone was like, literally thinking, like, did she? What?
Yeah.
And so it was a nighttime show, and we'd given all the audience torches, and I said, do you have your torch on you, ma'am?
Yeah.
Can you get it out? Yeah. Can you turn it on? Yeah. It's a lot brighter than you are.
Oh, my God.
Ruthless. Even your heckle comebacks are dad jokes. That's brilliant.
Emily, you savage.
Oh, Emily.
Only time I've broken character really.
Did everyone laugh?
Yeah, it was like I dropped a bomb.
Imagine nobody laughed.
There was one guy on the ground crying. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, and then the other one was, and this is the only time in interactive, I'm always because audiences do love to be insulted. Yeah. But you have to know where the line is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I never insult anything they can't change.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love to insult outfits. Someone shows up wearing like a checkered pattern. I either call them a picnic rug or I call them a lumberjack.
Fantastic.
Things like that.
Checkers?
Oh.
Below the table.
Just saying.
Well, if I'm a lumberjack, you are axed, Jared.
Oh, fuck me, Emily.
But there was one show where I thought I crossed the line because there was this guy who was there, and he was older, and he was there with a much younger woman who was his partner, clearly. And during the play, I was a character, and my dad was also a character as well. And this guy kept heckling me the entire show, like all these like innuendo comments about me getting together with my dad.
Right.
He just would not stop. And then we're walking to the final scene, and he goes like, "Oh yeah, because you know, you're getting it on with your father." And I said, "Oh,
fuck,
yeah."
man.
But I turned around and I said, "Oh, is that what's happening here?"
I knew that was coming.
And he was just quiet for a moment. I was like, "Oh my god, this! Oh no, no, no!" And then he just quietly says, "You're very good."
Oh, fuck, that's fantastic. Holy shit. Actually, do you want to give a brief description of what interactive theatre is for people that don't know?
So interactive theatre, how we do it at my Odyssey Theatre Company is it is still a play, but it has escape room and interactive elements. So there is an unfolding story that takes place, but in order for that to continue going from scene to scene, the audience is required to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, right.
So that's when it becomes,
fantastic.
You got to fix it on the fly. If the audience does not do what they're meant to do or solve what they're meant to solve, you got to figure out a way to make it work.
So is it more improvisation than script?
Oh, it's half-half,
Okay.
I would say. And it depends on what role you have. So typically we have several characters that do interact with audience, but their role is as their character in essence carrying forward the narrative. And then you have probably one character that I would call the guide character who is responsible for the bulk of like the audience interaction, improvisation. I also call them the showrunner because if the show goes off the rails, that person needs to be able to save it.
Yeah.
Especially if the other actors aren't as experienced in interactive theatre and something happens and they don't know how to move forward, showrunner steps in, steers it back on track. And so I love playing the showrunner, which is what I normally do because I love how challenging it is.
That's cool.
And that's where the junkie element comes in because
you need to
you're firing so quickly.
Right.
But you're firing so quickly and like adrenaline at its highest because you're like, okay, anything's coming at me right now. I got to know exactly what I'm doing. I got to know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And I got to know the story inside and out so that anything that happens, I can immediately improvise a scene or improvise something and get the story back on track.
Yeah, right.
You know what it reminds me of? When I used to work at Sky News and it was live television. And when something would go wrong, like, you'd accidentally send like black to a live screen or something, and then the audience is watching. It's like you've got seconds to fix it because it's live television. And
bringing it back, right?
The junkie.
But also, like, what you prefer? So you prefer the live element compared to film?
Well, no. So that's what I love about theatre.
Yeah.
What I love about screen is because on stage, like you do work with your whole cast and with the audience, but it's also very much main character energy.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm the star. I'm looking after me. Whereas what I love with film, it is so collaborative.
yeah.
More collaborative than theatre, I would say. That's what I personally find anyway, because, in order for a shot to work, it's not just you that needs to be doing your job, right? It's the gaffer, it's the director, it's the ACs, it's the AD. So many people have to be doing their job just right for that single shot.
Exactly.
The other thing that must be cool as an actor is like you have that time when you're on set, when you're performing, and then later on you get to see the final product and how it turned out and how cool it is in the end.
Yeah, well, I can't remember who said it on Barren, but someone mentioned that there's 3 versions of any script. There's the pre-production, there's the acted one, and then there's the edited one.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all
Stories made
very
3
different.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love, because, you do your performance and you see bits of others, but you really don't see how it all comes together until you go to that first screening and you see it all together.
Yeah, I hate the wait. The wait's
Yeah. Far out. Were you nervous leading up to the Ozmar premiere?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Obviously. Yeah, because all we'd seen was the stills and I was still just, I never even saw any playback. So I was very, very concerned of
Did you overact? I think you said this. Yeah.
How are you feeling about Barren?
Concerned.
Really? More or less concerned than Ozmar?
That's a good question.
We've stumped him.
Different sets, different kind of things, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember because it's been 2 months, man. No, I can't remember because the experience of watching it and everything after that has kind of ameliorated whatever concerns I did have.
Yep.
So I can't quite remember if like how strongly I felt and because I'm in it right now with Barren having just wrapped it and still feeling like, I don't think I gave the right performance for this take and that take, and
that's why we do multiple takes.
Yeah, but I still feel like I still feel like I had more to give, that I could have lifted it, that I could have popped more. That
See, Emily said that too. But I think you're always going to feel that way.
Always.
Yeah. No,
and the truth is, like, even as a director, I feel that way. Oh, we could have got more coverage, could have done this, could have done that. But when it comes down to it, and you're on that crunch, you've just got to make it work with what you have, the amount of time you have. All the different elements that come together when you're there on the day. Not, we'd love to have the luxury to sit there for a week and
you're never going to have enough
every
time.
Little thing,
Never going to have
and
enough
I actually
time.
think it's good to have limitations with creativity. Because when you give people too much freedom, I think that's when it becomes too loose and you lose.
Yeah, I said that too.
tightness.
Like, I like having the structure. I like having because I like having that trust.
Yeah.
That, the director, in this case you, knows what he wants, so he's going to keep me in those lanes.
Yeah.
And you were very good, but I was still just like, because I can't see it. I'm like, maybe I'm doing more than I think, and maybe I can tone it down more if I'm aware of it.
But I also really like
obviously just that last take is just sticking in my head. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we finished that not because we nailed it, but because we'd done 12 fucking takes.
The shed one. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, I got what I needed.
Okay.
I would have kept going if
I know you would have.
No, because I look back at the rushes now. I'm like, okay, we've got it. Because there's a thing sometimes, because especially with one takes, I had this the last time I did a big one take in my previous film where it takes place at a party and it follows this character through. And sometimes you feel like you don't have it. Like, you feel like the elements didn't line up perfectly.
Yeah.
But then you watch it back later and you go, oh, no, we did have it. And it's this really weird reverse thing that I get sometimes where, like, sometimes I feel like something went well and then I check the rushes and I'm like, oh, no, I could have done it better. Yeah. Other times when I feel like something wasn't so good and I check the rushes, like, oh, no, we had it.
Okay.
And so I think...
Oh, that makes me relax a little bit.
No, because I watched it and that's actually probably one of my favorite parts of the film. I think it works quite well.
Great. Yeah, because I didn't know. You didn't warn me. I mean, not that you need to tell the actors, this is how we're going to shoot. Here's the shot list. But just a one take, I'm like, oh, shit.
It's also...
I think I didn't even know it was one take until we did two or three takes. I'm like, we could just clean this up.
You were sort of saying that. I was like...
Yeah, you was like so
when
shy.
Do
when do I tell him I'm only doing this once? And he needs to hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, no, it was great. And... for me, it's also reassuring that I'm doing a good job as a director when I give you a direction and you're like, oh, hell yeah, like, I want to try that. And it's good knowing that we have that collaboration where, like, you're happy to try something and I want to see that from you and we're both on the same page, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was so much better than when I was on Ozmar. That guy did not.
I feel like our directing styles, do you reckon they're similar or different?
What do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Different?
Yeah,
How are they
us.
different? Yeah.
How are they different?
I feel like...
So you're good and you're not?
I feel like... I can't English.
She's nervous.
It might have
One
been
of us is about to be let down.
But it might be influenced by the size of the set.
Yeah.
On Ozmar.
Yeah.
And also because I played like a small role. But, there was like, we'd already done rehearsals as well.
Yeah.
But there was kind of like, I had no idea how I was doing. But then in my head, I was...
yes.
I was like, no.
You know what?
But
that
I
makes...
had in my head,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, no. We've already rehearsed this. And if he didn't like what he was saying, he would tell me.
So that's the thing. I feel like I'm less, I think, vocal when it comes to feedback because I'm more vocal in rehearsals.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I would
And
agree,
we go through every take in rehearsal rather than going through every take on set, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. I might be wrong, but like
but it was because at first I was very like, oh my gosh, like I'm not hearing anything, so I'm not. And I was like, no. He like you're just there's so many people, so many things you're talking about, thinking about right now. If there was a problem,
every single like moment of filming, and he was very consistently like that. Like I can't even remember a time you gave me.
No, that's the thing.
Even I noticed
we did
that.
it all
I said a few times, do you want variation?
That.
You're like, no, we've done it in
No,
rehearsal.
because I think that's how I go.
The first day I was like, oh, this is great. He keeps telling me I've nailed it. But then by the end of the third day, I'm like, why is this motherfucker staying?
It's because, no, 100%. But we spent so long talking about characters and takes beforehand. I think I mold it in rehearsals, and by the time we get to set, especially I'm very aware because I have the AD brain of what the schedule is going to be like. I like to put that amount of time that maybe other people would do on set in rehearsals, like, and then when you get to set, you nail it, and we move on. And I feel like that's what you guys did. I mean, you did fucking amazing. So like,
but it was like, you know, it took me a while to realize that was your style.
Yeah.
Dan, I would say your style is much more involved on set.
I
like to get variation in the takes because I like to give myself as much freedom in the edit as possible.
Yes. And you would like vocalize that pretty much between each take as well. And as like I don't think I said this on set, I appreciate it so much. So that one shot, you know, the shot I'm talking about, I struggled.
Did that help what I said to you?
It did because so there was this one shot which is
sex scene. That's how insecure I am. I was like, she hated having me on top.
Continue.
But no, I'm with you now.
So there's one shot, but it is the final shot of the film. Yeah. And I knew heading into the shoot that that was the most complex and important shot for Lainey's character. Yeah. That is her moment to really get the audience to be on her side, to see her, to relate with her. That's it. That's the moment. And I was prepping so hard for that moment. And then when we got in the room, I just got so incredibly anxious because we did the first one and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Everything I'd prepped, it didn't happen. And then straight away we went into a second one and it didn't happen. And I was starting to get really, you know, I was trying not to show it, but obviously you picked up on it.
I could feel it, and I had also anticipated that before, that you might be in that situation. So I knew what I would do if it happened.
Yeah,
which is what I did do.
It helped so hard because what you did, like you took me out of the set, took me away, and then I was expecting, honestly, I was like, oh my God, he's going to tell me like, look, you just really need to get the shot. Like,
no.
And that was what I was expecting.
Excuse me, Emily, can I speak to you for a second?
Well, that's
what the fuck is that? You're ruining the whole fucking movie, Em.
Through the door, you're fired.
That's what I was expecting. Like, no reflection against you, but that's what I was expecting. Yeah. And then when you did the absolute opposite of that and you took that opportunity to tell me to kind of just like relax because everybody was there supportive and, you know, we were making this together and we were all in this together, that, you know, and then I could take as much time as I wanted. Like I went back to my little room and I just like sat in a chair for a while and I just like breathed because, you know, I just felt so anxious because I was like, I felt like so much was relying on me getting that shot. I was like, what if I can't get that shot? What if I can't do it? And then we went and did it like third time. And it was better, but it still wasn't there. And then did it the next time.
But yeah.
Like,
how did you feel about that last one we got?
I think it was definitely so much better than the first few. Do I think that I reached the level that I'm capable of? No.
Yeah.
Here was my logic.
Which isn't a reflection on you.
No, I understand.
We talked about this.
I understand. But here is my logic though. I knew that I would feel it when it happened. And I started to tear up when you did it that time. I'm like, all right, that's it.
Yeah. And the one thing, like I get told a lot at acting school, which that lesson really doesn't sink in. Like it takes a long time to learn this lesson, is as an actor, it's not about feeling, it's about doing.
Yeah.
Because you could be feeling so much this take, but if the audience isn't getting that, then it won't work. It's crap.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes you don't feel it, but if you were doing it, you make the audience feel it.
Yeah.
That's when the shot works.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I didn't personally feel it, but I trust you. And like when you said we got out, I was like, okay, it's not about feeling, it's about doing.
Yeah, it was just such a complicated shot technically because, you know, you had to walk in. We had to sync up when Jared walks over and grabs onto you as well. And then probably the hardest thing is the fact that you're looking into a mirror, so you're clocking your performance the whole time. And that probably made it a lot harder for you as well, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
I'm vain as fuck, so I'd have loved that. I could do every take into a mirror. I would be so...
I could also see you in the mirror and you just being this weird thing. just like there, just going like... and so I'm trying to have this really thing moment. I'm looking at me, but I can see you just... And it, yeah. So it was an interesting shot.
But yeah, like the other thing you got to realize is that once you add in all the elements of the film, you add in the music, you add in the camera movement, because it looks really cool when you see the final thing. All those elements that you're not thinking about because you're just performing, it, you know, accentuates it a lot. So you'll see in the end.
Yeah. But my point about bringing that whole up was that at that moment as a director, you very much saw what I needed.
Yeah.
And you know, took that step to take me away and tell me, and that like really, that was really just a fantastic kind of moment.
So if to reach that point that you feel like you could have gotten to, what do you think you would have needed just to do it more times?
Honestly, I think I just need more experience on a set because
it's very difficult.
I've been doing classes for a long time now, and I know I reached that point in classes. In my rehearsals by myself, I reach that point, but I don't have as much experience doing it in a collaborative environment where I'm aware that there's a time pressure and I'm aware that there's so many people there and we're all trying to get this one shot.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of pressure, and the only way you can prepare for that pressure is to practice.
Exactly.
Very good. I think that's a good way to wrap
excellent.
that little thing up.
Yeah.
Jared, we'll come back to you for a sec. So I'm going to break this into two parts, this question. So again, just how... for you, have you found the crossover between comedy and film, and has it helped in either or? And also, do you, I guess this is for both of you, but maybe more for you. You're a bit older than Emily, right?
Oh, just a smidge.
Okay.
Well, Fanshawe was 55.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, actually?
That's right. In the script, I had it as 55. Bro, we had like old ladies.
When I first met you were like, hi, I'm Mrs. Fanshawe.
Bro, we had old ladies auditioning for it, but that's I think I said this is present to your performance that we went with you. Anyways, sorry, to go back to that. The crossover between comedy and film, but also, do you put a lot of pressure on yourself to reach a certain goal in this industry by a certain age?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'd say with comedy playing into it, there's two main ways that you know, bears out. The first one is in my flexibility.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of crowd work. I do often go on stage with a very loose plan and respond to the audience and the moment. And so I'm used to that extra adrenaline you mentioned, kicking into high gear and using that to, I don't know, think on my feet incredibly fast. It's not fast for me. It's just repetition.
Yeah.
So like when you translate that to film sets, you need flexibility. You need to be aware of what's going on and reading the rooms, reading the energies, and being able to come up with a new idea like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that really helps, especially when I'm behind the camera. If I'm doing something like that, I know that, okay, I got to throw that idea out and come up with something new and just adjust to the plan. So that's been very, very beneficial.
Yep.
And the other main way it plays out in my life is that I fucked up a lot doing comedy, and the stakes are very, very low in that. So all of the mistakes I made in the comedy scene in that part of my career, I've learned from those mistakes, and I now have the benefit of all of that experience and knowing the correct ways to do things, how to maintain relationships and be professional and respect differences and meet people where they're at. And even just practically, like, not expecting the moon to just suddenly appear, having to put in the work and build towards something, and, you know, treating other people with kind of respect and not trying to find a position of power and hold on to it, which is there's a lot of toxicity in comedy, and it's a lot of small talent pool. Everyone's just elbowing each other out of the way, trying to get to the top.
Yeah, right. What would you say is more competitive, the acting industry or the comedy industry?
I think they're all very, very competitive in their own ways. But I think comedy's probably more competitive because there's just so few spots at the top. There's just so few people that actually break through. It's such a grind for like everybody. You never really feel secure as a comedian. Plus, you are largely your own person.
Yeah.
So the main thing that's really fucking annoying is you can be a very good comedian, but a shit business person.
Yeah.
And nowadays, everyone...
Individual marketing.
Yeah, you have to market yourself. So it's always been really, really frustrating to see lots of comedians who are not that funny, but very good at marketing themselves. Succeed way quicker and way more.
I think a lot to do with marketing as well.
That sounds like I'm really better. I am.
Marketing as well, especially what we've found for podcast, for the podcast as well, maybe not you, but I've done a lot of research, is it fucking costs a lot of money to like, especially to promote yourself as well. Like you can promote yourself to your own kind of internal circle and stuff, but expanding out, and it takes not only like connections, but like money as well.
I'm in two minds about that though.
Yeah.
I think sometimes if you really know how to just target that algorithm in the perfect way, you can actually like blow up.
Fair. Something you said was interesting. You said there's
just one thing.
There's few there's few spots at the top for comedy. Yeah. What is the top? Is it a Netflix original? Is it a worldwide tour? What do you see as the top for comedy? Like when you've reached it. With film, you can say, "Oh, my film got a theatre release. I'm winning an Academy Award."
I just remembered the other part of your question.
Yeah, no, you're a good.
I think that depends, but just like
for you then.
For me, I've stopped having it as a big dream to be a super famous, successful comedian. Mm-hmm. I still love making people laugh.
Yep.
But I don't have that as, it's not on my vision board.
Sure.
So to speak.
Sure.
That's kind of what I let go of a little bit as a filmmaker as well. I was so like pushing that I need to be like this big director and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted it really bad when I was younger, and then as I got older, it's like, you know what, this is what I love to do, but the reality is a lot of people don't make it, and like...
You surely still have your dreams and aspirations.
I do, but I'm not so like... Because when you really think about it, a lot of the time it's your own ego that wants you to be successful. You just want to tell people like, oh, this is... You know what I mean? Yeah. So like now it's at the point where it's like, no, I just love doing this and I want to keep doing this forever, even if I'm not Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I disagree.
I think I differ. I actually
elaborate. You disagree?
No. I also disagree in a sense for myself. Like I do have those big aspirations and goals to do that, but I 100% understand where you're coming from, and I think that's. I don't really have. I think I'm the complete opposite. I don't know.
I get where you're coming from too. Yeah, and obviously, I'm still trying to push in that direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
I made this film Barren thinking like, all right, it's a genre film. It's this amount of this length. Like, I can get it into film festivals. Like, obviously, I'm thinking about the marketing and the next step and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't want to put so much pressure on myself that it like crushes my soul, because that's kind of what happened to me last year.
And causes you too much anxiety to continue to
exactly.
move on.
And it's like you sort of need to chill yourself out to actually allow yourself to become better.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I had to find in myself.
What did you disagree about that statement though?
Well, it's not really, it's just different.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Because it's applying to ourselves. So
sure.
It's like I disagree with what you think for yourself.
No.
But I do still have those big aspirations.
As you should.
I would love to, have acclaim and respect in the broader industry, and to be able to live in America and make movies in the big show.
Yeah. Would you live in America?
Yeah, if they sort out their fucking gun and health.
Yes, literally. Bro, we've talked about it so many times with this. Yeah.
Just everyone's like, la da 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 da. Oh, more kids were massacred in a school and we're not going to do anything about it.
Fuck, man, I just want to support my NFL winning sports team, but God, go to the fucking thing.
But yeah, it's the big show. It's like you got to go over there. But I also much prefer the European style of filmmaking. Yep. And Korean as well. Yeah. But I'll go wherever I can go to make the best possible movies, because I have incredibly high standards. So I do love it, and I do want to make a career out of it, but I don't want to make a career that's just adequate, that's just getting by. I want to do the shit that like lingers, that leaves my mark. I don't know if I'll ever have kids, but if I can, create some things that
legacy.
Have a bit of a legacy and also impact as many people's lives as possible with that. So I have really high, noble aspirations, which sounds incredibly wanky, but
not at all, man.
That's just me.
And do you have, I think bringing it back to my question, do you put a lot of pressure on yourself to reach this by a certain time?
Yeah, I used to. I remember being really young and thinking, I've got to do everything by the time I'm 30.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not even any point.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that I'm, looking down the barrel of middle age, I am just kind of like, I'm just going to get there as quick as I can.
Yeah, right.
Not have the deadline set anymore. I'm not looking at a particular age. I'm just trying to get there at as fast a pace as I can.
Yeah. Really. No, fair enough. That's a good answer. You said that you want to impact as many people as possible in their own in their lives. Has there been a role or a character portrayal in film history, this is for both of you, that has impacted you profoundly in the way that you go about your career now, in terms of whether that's a theatre actor or a film actor, somebody that you take a lot of inspiration on, and how did it challenge you or challenge your own life perspectives, both as an artist or an individual?
I'll start off answering this question. By joining it onto the other question.
Yeah, sure.
As well. Yep. So I want it all.
Okay, sharp, hey.
I want it all. But no, like I feel like for the first part of my career, I was relatively passive. I'm not anymore. I'm hungry. I want it. I want it now. That's why. I love it. Yeah, like that's why I started moving into screen, because I was like, I love theatre. I absolutely do, but I really want to. I've got these huge goals. Like, I'll say it here, so I'm accountable for it. Yep. I want to win an Oscar for Best Original Script.
Look down the camera and say that.
I want to win an Oscar for Best Original Script.
Beautiful.
Screenplay, whatever. Yep.
I'll settle for adapted, I
want that.
Fuck yes. Adapted original. Let's do it.
Yeah. By the end of this year, I'm writing a play at the moment, and I've already set the goal. I want that to have its to perform next year at Belvoir.
Nice.
I want that. And if it turns out how I think it will, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So 100%. I feel like I've just been so passive and been so like, because I know that going into this industry, it's going to be a marathon. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Yep. And I know, because I quit very, very early on, I know the experience of quitting. And I know how that felt. So that's how I know I will never quit this industry again. Amazing. I cannot quit again. And so, after that and after this, I'm like, well, why am I just waiting around and being like, it'll happen when it... No, I want it now.
Yeah, cool.
Like I'm going to work for it. And so, that's what I think I'm doing. And kind of my big inspiration is Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yep.
No way.
Absolute.
In what? In Indiana Jones?
So she wrote Fleabag for Edinburgh Fringe.
Oh God, that's a great
and then it ended up, becoming a main stage.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then it ended up being adapted into a TV
show. That's how I know it. Yeah.
Before that, she also wrote and acted and directed her own script, Crashing.
Nice.
As well.
Yeah.
So I just love how she's not waiting around for people to give her work.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm going to write it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm going to act in it myself and star in it myself and win Emmys for myself. Like, I love that she does that. And as a writer as well, my favorite writing quote of all time is from her.
What is it?
I open my audience's mouths with humor so I can shove my meaning down their throats.
Ooh, I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. That quote influences all of my writing.
Nice.
Pretty much. And so the play that I'm working on at the moment, I've described it as a cross between Fleabag and Prima Facie.
Yeah.
Facie. I don't know how to say it. I'm not Latin. Yeah. But, the influence of how, if you can use comedy so effectively to gut punch people and make them think and make them feel, whilst also, laugh. And I love that. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm going to do.
Fuck, that is fantastic. I remember you telling me on the first time that we met, which was at the cafe, and some of the scripts you were writing, and there was one, God, I can't remember the name of it or whatever, but there were some wacky ideas and amazingly wacky ideas.
Yeah,
and I loved it. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I stopped writing that because I was like, this is too far.
No, it was so good.
But yeah, it was like
what was it about again?
It was about like the fourth dimension.
Yes, the fourth dimension.
And how the fourth dimension is like basically like a noodle soup and like this whole.
It was insane.
And then everything everywhere, all it does did it with a bagel. So
I loved it. Jack, go for it.
A hero of mine is Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Can edit her part out, man. I mean, weirdly, the first thing that sort of jumps to my mind is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Because I loved In the Name of the Father. You know, growing up, I was always very connected with anything Irish, and my mother always liked to lean into that because Dad was Irish, and so there was that strong connection. So it's an Irish story, and it's a really fucked up true story, and it's Daniel Day-Lewis, an amazing Emma Thomas, Pete Postlethwaite, really amazing movie, and I think that was when I first discovered who he was, and then as I got into my teen years, would watch everything. I read his biography, all that kind of stuff. And even my year 12 drama individual performance was adapted from In the Name of the Father. But, you know, I don't know that I ever set out to be like, oh, I'm gonna try and be like Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, you want to try be Jared Keane.
Yeah, but at least in terms of reading his biography and seeing his approach, and just like that's a serious way you can approach acting and dive into it. I don't know. I always admired actors who really did something and made a mark. And
how comedians? I swear you always mention this one comedian. I can't remember the name of me, but you always mention him, and he's your favorite. And
Bill Cosby.
Oh fuck.
No.
Yeah, right. He's straight off the notes.
I can't remember his name.
Oh God, I know you always
Rory
say
Scovel, maybe.
I don't know.
I find him hilarious.
Yeah,
but as I mentioned, Robin Williams was a huge hero because his dramatic performances are really impactful.
Yeah.
It always brings a tear to my eye. Even like Good Morning Vietnam is the perfect blend of he's so hilarious in that movie. It's beyond comprehension. And then he just nails the drama. And it's such a heavy, beautiful movie. But yeah, I love pretty much everything that Robin Williams has done. So yeah, that was like the highest bar to ever be like Robin Williams. Like, see, you can be one of the funniest people alive and also one of the best actors.
Yeah.
Far out. Those are great answers. How about reflecting on both your journeys as actors? Has there been like a pivotal moment or role that has not only challenged you professionally, but also left a lasting impact on your personal growth? Go.
So I have one.
Or theatre or comedy.
And it's acting, but it also came from my writing.
Okay.
And it's about the script that I'm writing for the end of this year.
Amazing.
So a thing you're taught when, you know, you're starting to really break into the industry is, what is your type? What is your typecast? You need to know what your typecast is.
Really?
Yeah, because that is the role. They are the roles you will first get cast in when nobody knows who the hell you are.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need to have headshots that suit that type. You also need to have a prepared monologue that suits that type. So one of the types that I always got told was nurse.
Right.
I've been cast as a nurse quite a lot. And so we were doing a monologue night at my school, and I thought, well, you know, what the heck? I'm just going to write a monologue piece as a nurse. And I started writing this piece. And it was also around the time that my dad was very, very sick. And I was really kind of just, I spent so much time watching the nurses, you know, and I just, you know, I kind of started thinking more about them because I'd never really, I don't know, I think that you take them for granted. I think that you do. And, you know, of course we were all singing the praises of the doctor and the specialist and everything, but I was just like, these nurses are here every single day. They don't just know my dad and everything about him. They know our names. They know all of us. And they probably know that for every single person in this entire ward. And I just, I kind of kept thinking about that. And then this piece started growing. And then I started imagining a whole kind of story for this piece. And then I performed the piece for a few people separately, and then also came to our first, like the monologue night, and I performed it, and I was very, very nervous because I felt like I was I've written a lot of humor. This felt like the first time I wrote something because I had something to say. And afterwards, the effect that it had, I had so many people coming up to me in the audience who I didn't know, who it turns out were either a nurse themselves, had someone who was a nurse. Some people told me of their own experiences in a hospital and with nurses. All these people just started coming up to me and just telling me their stories. And then my plan for writing this whole play was always that I really wanted it to feel like it came from a place of truth. So I'm doing an interview series with nurses of all different ages so that I can imbue their stories into this work. And I thought I would really, really struggle to get people. People started volunteering. I've been getting emails. I've been getting texts.
Fantastic.
People coming up to me, people saying like, hey, I've got this friend of a friend who wants to, who heard about it and wants to be involved. Because and this was really pivotal for me because I realized that, I don't just have to entertain people. I can actually say something at the same time. And, I realized that these stories that these people have, particularly with nurses, because they see some really, really horrible stuff. They don't really talk about it with each other because everyone has their own burden to bear. And then you don't want to take that home to your family. So all these stories are just sitting there. Just sitting there with these people. And so that's why I think people have been coming forward to me because they want their story told. And so that's been really, really pivotal for me, even just like start of this year, because that was only at the very end of last year where I'm like, wow, okay, I have like the power here to do something that is bigger than myself.
Yeah.
And to tell these stories of these people and try to honor them and do justice to them. Yeah. And like that has been such a turning point for me.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, not just as an actor, but as just a creative. Like that's why I'm like, that's what it's all about, That's why we do it.
Damn, I'm going to make sure my girlfriend listens to this because she's currently she's just come off placement. She's been doing placement to become a nurse. So
well, if she wants to be interviewed.
She loved theatre as a kid and stuff like that. So I think she'll really appreciate that segment. So shout out to all the nurses out there. That was beautiful, Emily. Beautiful. Jared, my friend, pivotal moment for you if you've had any during your career so far.
Yeah. Yes. This is kind of wanky, but I'll go right back to the early days when I was doing plays in high school. Maybe I brought it on myself by being way too arrogant and cocky. As I mentioned, I was like, I'm going to be a professional. I'm going to do this for a career.
Is that annoying kid that you just
Yeah, I might have maybe done a few things that were annoying. But it was also very, very, it was an all boys school. So it was very, very toxic and like, we can't let him have this. Yeah. So people would try and put that down. And, high school plays, they usually always try and make it an ensemble so no one gets to star in it. And so it's like, it was an ensemble and I wasn't trying to steal the show or do anything. I was just trying to like kick fucking ass. I was just trying to do the absolute best that I could and was excited to be on stage and do as much as I could in that regard. But yeah, some of the other kids were definitely sort of like hanging shit on me and, talking about me behind my back and trying to sort of belittle any sense of any time I got too confident and excited about my little part of the play. But I had the teacher, I think he gave me a lift home one night. Nothing sus. It was just...
I was like, is this a joke about to happen? I was like,
it's all a punchline.
It's not. This is 100% true.
Yeah.
Okay. No, he lived near me. Yeah. So the rehearsals were after school, and so he was nice enough to give me a lift home instead of having to track on a bus and a train and a bus.
For sure. Yep.
So in the car ride, he was like, he gave me a compliment, but also told me like, hey, don't tell anyone this. Because, he knew how annoying little teenage boys were. And he gave me the compliment that was just really simple. You are good at this. You can do this for a career. You have the potential and the talent in you. Just stay focused and keep working at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can do this. And my drama teacher also said that I guess around the same time. I guess 'cause I was so focused and so nervous, and I was in the process of getting kicked out of that school. So they both, around that same time, pulled me aside and said, "Don't tell anyone this, but I think you can make a career out of this. I think you have something." Wow. Which is why, to circle back to what I started the podcast talking about, how I then, the next year, went to Newtown Performing Arts, and the drama teacher there turned me off acting.
Yeah.
So my journey has been to try and remember that confidence and that comfort that those mentor father figures gave me that I lost all those years ago. And when I was doing Ozmar, I felt a bit of that return, that confidence of, hey, you can do this. And that really sort of came out at the premiere, having watched it, and thinking like, yeah, I held my own there. I actually
fucking did, man.
the thing.
Awesome.
Let me tell you both something. You can't do it. No. No, me and Josh have very high standards for our films. We want them to be as professional as possible. We cast both of you for a reason, because you can do this and you're very good at what you do. So if that's any consolation. Also, you both have very good chemistry with each other. That's one of the big reasons why I cast you both.
How has that journey been, like, as friends, and like kind of forming this partnership, you know, doing like guys, you're hosts of The Amazing Race. Like, come on, what's happening here?
Friends. No, I think it's, you know.
Hosts of The Amazing Race? What?
Yeah. Didn't you host like an Amazing Race
right.
thing?
Yeah, we did that.
I forgot about that.
Right, yeah. One of my mates, a friend of mine from high school who I hadn't seen for ages, right? And I went to breakfast with her. She was in the premiere for Ozmar, and she's like, oh my God, she was part of that group that you guys hosted for The Amazing Race.
Wow.
Small world.
We should specify for the podcast. It's a team building company.
No, it's Channel 10's Amazing Race. Barren, no, Jared Keane, Emily Mckendry.
I mean, that would be a sweet gig.
Yeah,
I don't know about you. I've always felt like we bounce off each other very well. Like, I think we're both very open and malleable to trying other like choices.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
I think we
you
both
work
feel
with
comfortable adapting and improvising and just being funny.
Yeah. So
Which is definitely rare. There's definitely, even when you're working on a comedy thing, sometimes you're acting against someone and you're just like, why are you doing a comedy? You have no fucking timing.
I feel like you guys are both on the same wavelength that no one else is on, because you'll start throwing jokes back and forth, and you're just in this world, and I'm just standing there like,
just appreciate it.
Let's bring it back.
What a partnership.
Yeah. But I like seeing it. It's very nice to see.
it's good. I feel like, you know, that's just a natural kind of element of comedy is you have to be open. And, you know, unless you
have to have that chemistry.
Or mate that you worked with that you were saying. But like, it is just kind of part of it. The nature of comedy itself, I think, is flexibility.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the great acting lesson of always is listen, respond, be present in the moment, because it makes it so much easier to act with someone when they're present, giving you and trying to, instead of just basically performing for a blank wall. You know? Sometimes you can see that.
May I drop? Acting is reacting.
Oh.
This does not mean acting again.
Just had to.
Oh gosh. Dan, question for you.
Oh,
do you have a kind of moment that's, you know, a pivotal moment in your career that's kind of kept you going or changed the way you maybe view the industry or something like that?
I wouldn't say it was one like particular moment like that Jared and Emily talked about. But definitely a period of time, which was last year, when I got super anxious because I just thought like that I wasn't going to make it in the industry and stuff. I was just looking at the fact, this is going to sound silly to you guys, but like I was like, I'm 23, I'm not getting any younger. What am I doing in my life? Like, I'm not good enough to do this kind of thing. And then I just sort of had to...
23 is so old.
Yeah, fuck. I just sort of had to... Well, because when I was young, like, you have all these goals for yourself. I'm going to, like, move overseas and I'm going to be a big director. I'm going to do what everyone else can't. And then you realize, oh, wait, no one else can do it because it's very difficult. And you kind of realize that you're not special. And...
I think you're special, Dan. You were mean. I was nice.
I'm joking, bro. He knows he's special.
I sort of just had to take a step back and reevaluate and be like, I realized that the reason why I was feeling so anxious is because I love filmmaking more than anything, and I thought that I wasn't going to be able to do that anymore. Yeah. And that was really soul crushing for me. I thought I was just going to have to, you know, get some other job and then just live with that, and then just you know, filmmaking will be like a pipe dream to me, something I get older and think I used to want to do that, but I never really took that journey, and that was devastating to me. And then I sort of just said, I stepped back and I looked at it. I also had like my Europe trip where I went away and sort of
found yourself in Europe.
Yeah, like it's cliche, it's cheesy, but like I really did. I just took some time away.
Beautiful girl in Prague.
I fell in love.
Kissed on the Charles Bridge.
Oh god.
I that was a reset for me, because while I was over there, I was really just immersed in a different place for 7 weeks. I didn't think about my career. I didn't think about anything. I was like, I'll do that when I get back. And then I got back. And I said, okay, now I'll start thinking about things. And then I was working at the warehouse for a bit. And I had this nice balance where, you know, I had this casual job and I could do my filmmaking stuff on the side. And I think that's where I really found happiness, because I was like, you know what, I can have a job and then I can still keep filmmaking in my life. And it was like it was a realistic balance that I had at that point achieved. I mean, I've lost the job now, so I've got to refine my footing. But then, the growth, right?
It happens, yeah.
The growth is that I'm in that same spot that I was in last year. But all that anxiety is gone.
Yeah, fantastic.
Because I know that I will find a way forward from here, like I did last year. So.
I love that.
It's actually, you know what? It actually is good that you're having that at the incredibly young age of 24.
Thank you.
Because, I don't think I had that kind of crisis until I was 30 or plus.
Yeah.
Far out. There you go.
What about you?
Have you got your crisis yet?
I wouldn't know. I mean, before, that's why this podcast is a remnant of that crisis. You know, I mean, we all go through the little dips and shit.
I know
like
you
that.
had a similar stage like that.
I had a similar stage, but I would say a more pivotal role happened. Like, as to why I got in this, I think I've told this before. Like, my grandfather was a filmmaker, and it was only at his wake where they played a bunch of his short films where that kind of filmmaking switch kind of flicked for me. And that's when I kind of was like, you know, I grew up. He used to put on the VHS Star Warses and grew up around films, yet never really had that kind of like light bulb moment until it was, I guess, too late, but also the start of everything. And that. It's kind of what my pivotal moment, I guess. I mean, that's why I'm here now. I've had those kind of lulls, like you have, Austin has as well. Like everybody goes through it. And again, what took me out of it was this podcast and being around like-minded people, surrounding myself with, you know, incredible filmmakers. And now look at us, you know, Austin's made 2, you're made 1, I've made 1, and we'll continue to make it, and to the highest quality as well. But I'm going to liven the mood a little bit before we go to the last little dependent variable. If your lives all of a sudden turned into a sitcom, who would you cast for each other?
For each other.
Yeah, so you cast Jared in a sitcom. Jared, you cast Emily in a sitcom.
Are we casting actors to play us?
Yes, correct. Who would you cast?
So, for you, I would cast Dylan Moran.
Who's that?
Yeah, who is that?
He's so much older than me, but okay.
But I'm thinking of it. The guy, Black Books. Yeah. Bernard, fetch me my lolly. And it's a frozen bottle of wine.
Have you seen this guy before?
Yeah, Dylan Moran is one of the funniest people alive. And Black Books is arguably one of the greatest sitcoms ever.
Yeah, fantastic.
So yeah.
Fair enough. Dylan Moran. Yeah. What about you?
Emma Stone.
Oh, yes.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I can get around that 100%.
Yeah,
because she's funny.
Okay.
Oh,
she's funny, she's sexy, she's charming.
She's perfect. Amazing. Yeah. Oh, and she's about to win another Academy Award. Won't you look at that?
Yeah, hopefully.
Amazing.
So deserved.
100%. Have you seen Poor Things?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I gotta watch it.
I love the fuck out of it so much.
It's so weird that it's great.
Is it as good as his other movies?
I think it's his best one yet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check
very
it out.
keen.
I've been
to
a
watch.
fan since I think The Lobster was when I discovered him.
Same.
Yeah.
Sacred Deer is so good as well.
Barry Keoghan. That was when I was like, who the hell is this dude?
He's so good in that.
Yeah.
What a guy. All right. Now this is the time of the podcast where we go on to the last segment. I'm not going to even, what are we fucking saying? It's just the segment for the time being where it changes every week. And this week,
let's call it the seg.
The seg.
The seg.
Oh, I don't know if I like that.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot with the seg. I like that. Alrighty. We're going to go around the room. One movie you love that critics hate and one movie you hate that critics love. Emily.
Okay, the one I love.
Yes.
Center Stage.
Right.
Haven't heard.
And is that critics hate center stage?
Yeah, it does not have great reviews. Anybody who was a dance kid growing up will have seen that movie. That movie is formative to me. I watch that movie every single year. Yeah. It was one of Zoe Saldana's first ever movie roles. Right. It is simply, I think I've heard of it, like one of the best movies ever made. I will not hear a single word of criticism about this movie. It is perfection. Yes. The dance sequence at the end is astounding. Yes. And it is altogether just a work of art.
So why don't critics like it?
Ooh. Because they think it's basic.
Not very good.
Have you seen Shake It Up with Zendaya?
Shake It Up.
One of the best TV. Yeah, one of the best TV shows ever created. If you like dancing, go watch that show. Moving on, I'm joking, don't watch it. It's a Disney show with Bella Thorne and Zendaya. All right, what about a movie that you hate that critics love?
I get quite passionate about this one.
Here we go.
Yes.
So there was a movie that I've been told to watch over many, many years of my life. And finally last year I was like, tonight's the night. Yeah. I'm going to watch this movie.
Oh God, what is it?
Rocky.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Oh no.
I thought it was one of the most piece of shit films I have ever seen.
Really? That's a great sentence. I thought it was one of the most piece of shit films I'd ever seen.
I remember, I remember hearing all the stories about Sylvester Stallone, you know, how he wrote this movie, you know, and sold it, but refused to actually sell it unless he got cast. And this whole story about how he wrote it in 3 days. And tell you what, watching that film, you could fucking tell. Like, that script had less development than, like, I don't know, like some kind of shitty character. Like, there was just, it was a steaming pile of undeveloped lettuce. Like, it just had no substance beyond being crunchy water.
At least the female lead was good, though, right? There was so much for the
female
lead.
She had no character development past this man's fantasy of having a savior complex. Sorry, I get very
Have you seen the Creed movies?
No, I can't.
I like Creed.
I can't go past first.
Well, I mean, yeah, fair. Fair enough.
I guess all you can say is that you pity the fool.
Yeah, look, man, Emily, fair enough. That was a me rant right there. Yep. I respect it. I really respect it. Jared, what about you, my friend? What's a movie you love that critics hate?
Oh, man, this is tough. I really wanted to do the two, but I'll do with the one that people will more likely know, because I feel like the first one I had, I don't think anyone's really going to know unless they're a deep comedy fan.
Yeah, okay.
So the first one I was going to lead with was See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Heard of it?
It's a Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movie. It's like, I think the second or third last movie that Gene Wilder ever did. I grew up on it. I love it. It's amazing. But yeah, people don't know it. And critics hated it, which is bullshit because it's fucking great.
Fair.
Right. But yeah, the main one that I got to go with, I'm shocked it's only 29% on Rotten Tomatoes because I absolutely love it.
Oh, here we go.
The movie is Hook.
Oh.
Hook rules.
When did you watch it for the first time?
At the cinema in 1991.
Yeah.
With my family. It was fantastic. We all loved it. And growing up, then obviously Jurassic Park.
Yeah, of course.
So I was just like, who this? And Indiana Jones, big Spielberg fan.
Yeah.
And I can attest, like, I have a friend who growing up didn't get to watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Her family was really strict. So we went through and made like a whole list of all these classic movies from the 70s, 80s and 90s that she never got to see growing up.
Yeah.
And we watched them.
Oh,
we watched Hook together. It was like three of us. And me and the woman who'd seen it before, like enjoying the film and watching our friend experience it for the first time. And she was fucking loving it as well.
That's amazing.
We were just like
good shit.
Drinking gin or wine or whatever, just having some drinks, watching Hook, and just being like, this movie's really beautiful.
Fantastic. Hooked
it's
on
so
Hook.
nice. It's about childhood and parental. And then, and then there's the song that the little girl sings that won an Oscar, and you're just like, ah. And then Bob Hoskins is just fucking hilarious the whole time in the background. Dustin Hoffman knocks it out of the park, as he always does, but like especially in that one. And again, Robin Williams, I just love him.
Fantastic. I agree. I love that movie as well. Movie you hate, critics love. I know what this is anyway.
I gotta choose this one.
No, I'm not.
No, I don't hate Guardians 3. Yeah. It's just a big fucking letdown.
Yeah. Ooh, fair. Oh, I mean, I don't agree, but like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
I like that film.
Okay, I'm going to do it because it's more controversial. I was going to say The Menu, but I feel like only wanky critics liked it.
I wasn't a big fan.
Just watch Triangle of Sadness or The Platform, the Spanish movie. Way better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to say the movie that I hate that critics love and way too many people love is Top Gun 2. I think it's a piece of shit.
You don't like Top Gun 2?
I love Top Gun 2.
I love
so
it. I
good.
thought it was fucking amazing. It's on my list of best of all time.
I think in a few years' time, maybe it'll take as many as 10 years' time, people will look back and go, oh, yeah, actually, no, we only liked that movie because it was just after COVID and it was the first time we'd been to the cinema.
It's my number 11 of all time.
It's boring. I'll go through it. I got notes. I got the receipts on why this movie sucks.
The story is quite simple.
The story is simple. You can't even sum up what happens in the movie. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, let me go through my list.
Go for it real quick.
That is not a quick list.
All right, fuck. Give us.
No, I'm reading the
Give
notes.
us 3 points. Go for it.
3 points. All right, the movie's actually sad because Maverick is 60 years old and he's never had a fucking family. All that love story from the first movie, gone.
Yeah, I
he
know.
never
Yeah,
built
true.
a successful career. He's just a test pilot and he's still doing stupid stuff like trying to get an extra point. Okay, idiot. Why didn't you build your whole arc in the first movie was to like be this successful fighter pilot and make your dad proud. And what the fuck have you done?
Yeah, fair.
You're a test pilot at 60? This is stupid.
Yeah, fair.
You don't have a family. He's also doesn't even have a relationship
Yeah.
with Goose's son. So it's like,
Yeah.
your best friend died and you just left the family and you didn't like become a part of that family to support them. You were kind of, it's just
Yep,
the whole
agree.
arc of it is sad and disappointing. It doesn't have a good villain. There's
Yep.
no Val Kilmer. There's no bald guy from Back to the Future. It's sexy John Hamm and fucking wet towel Glenn Powell.
What tell Glenn Powell? Hashtag that. All right, Dan. Do you want to go?
Okay.
Real quick. We
Sure.
have 4 minutes.
Yeah. So, what am I starting with? What I
A
like?
movie you love that critics hate.
I didn't actually know that this was hated by critics until I looked it up the other day and saw it has like 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Change Up with, the movie where Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman switch.
Oh, that's when they switch bodies.
bodies. Yeah.
right,
I love that movie. It's so fun.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
good watch.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
funny, charming.
It's usually
heartfelt.
the charming comedy, like rom-com-y kind of
Yeah.
films that get the shitty
Oh, if
ratings,
you like that,
so-
have I got a couple movies for you? It's called Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I will.
Vice versa with a Judge Reinhold
Classic.
and Fred Savage.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, fair. Movie you
It's like
hate
10
that critics
movies
love.
from the 80s.
Okay. Movie I hate the critics love.
Yeah.
I have spoken about this a couple times before, but I
Yeah.
decided to rewatch it the other night because I wanted to give it a chance. After Sun.
Ah, yes, okay.
Have you seen After Sun?
No, that's the Paul Mescal one.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone was like talking about how like beautiful the ending was. Walked out in tears and stuff. I watched it. I'm like, there's nothing like interesting
Yeah.
about this. It's like it's too vague to be interesting, but it's just this weird blend, this like muddy movie that doesn't really say anything at all, and it's trying to
Yeah.
be profound, but it just says nothing. And
Fair
it's
point.
just-
Oh yeah, I hate those kind of movies.
Yeah, like the cinematography's nice. That's about it. Paul Mescal's performance is good, and the girl, I can't remember her name right now, Frankie something. They're good. That's about it.
Fair.
Yep.
All right, movie I love critics hate. Friends with Benefits.
Oh,
I've said
I
that's
enjoyed
the
that.
movie I've seen the most, believe it or not, in my whole life. I've
What?
seen just bro. I grew up watching. I was a sucker for a good rom-com back in the day that stuck with me.
Yeah, no, I think Mila Kunis is why you like that movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
How many times did you watch Black Swan as well, you perv?
I think I've only seen Black Swan about once.
And how many times have you seen a certain scene?
Anyways, another movie that I'll just chuck this out there that I love
No
that
king
critics
shame, though. No
hate.
king shame.
Yeah, Malcolm and Marie. I fucking love that movie. That's my number 2 of all time.
Oh, that's the Zendaya.
The critics don't
Zendaya.
like it.
No, they fucking despise that movie.
I
I
thought it
love
was
that.
decent, yeah.
Incredible writing. It's amazing. And they made it during COVID. It was just, I think the standard for me is a one location kind of
Yeah.
shoot. Love it. Movies that I hate that critics love.
All of them.
Basically all of them. But if I have to spout, God, I have honorable mentions. I have everything. American Psycho. Watched that recently. That was, I don't know. I've already ranted about that piece of fucking trash. I just hate that movie. Another one that I haven't mentioned, Spirited Away. People like that movie. I
yeah.
just found that
the
super
animated
super
one, yeah.
confusing and just those Studio Ghibli movies I found very confusing. Honorable mentions: Fight Club, Pulp Fiction, Power the Dog, Matrix, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. All gutter trash.
How dare you say that about The Matrix?
Yeah.
I
It was a
remember
movie
with
that
The
went nowhere.
Matrix.
What? Oh, okay. Shut up, Siri.
I remember with The Matrix.
Yeah.
I still have not seen the film.
Yeah.
But I read the script so that I could write a script report on it for class.
Yeah.
Most memorable quote from my report on that the characters felt as flat as the page they were written on.
I agree.
Not
Yeah, I can't imagine
entirely
it's a
wrong.
great script. It's a lot of
It's
the
a
style.
terrible script.
Yeah. Terrible
The
movie
style
as
makes it.
well.
It's very well made.
Just trash, man. Anyways, I'm sure everybody's heard my thoughts on those movies. But just really one that really stuck out to me was American Psycho. Like, I knew people liked that, but God, I could not find anything redeeming.
I can understand why.
Movie.
It's a satire, you see. Maybe you're just not getting.
Bro, some guy on Letterboxd commented that exact fucking thing under my review.
That's why I did the voice.
Yeah, literally. Anyways, guys, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Did you enjoy yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
Fantastic. Amazing.
I like talking.
Perfect. Well, guys, plug your 2 things that you got coming up. Your theatre, your Odyssey theatre, if you have anything you want to plug, and then your comedy show as well. Go for it, quick.
Odyssey Theatre Company. We have a show coming up soon called Once Upon a Grim Night, and then a few more this year. Probably the final one, nurse one, called Cutting Room Floor.
Nice. Jared.
Cool. Well, I am doing a stand-up. Well, it's like a one-man comedy show in Newcastle, March 15th and 16th.
Yep.
My Instagram is at JKYeah.
Yeah, baby.
Because I wanted all my @replies to be conversational.
Nice.
JK, yeah, so as I was saying. And so find me on there. I also, if you're in Sydney, I host a burlesque and cabaret show every Friday, Saturday, and the last Sunday of every month.
Perfect.
It's called Bamboozle Room, so you can check that out.
And who is Jared Keane? Newcastle.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned. Yes. The Newcastle Fringe show is called Who is Jared Keane?
Perfect. Go
and
get
you will
your
find
tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Dan.
Exactly.
Keen for next week where we dive deep into your film set, but thank you. Good shit today.
Thanks, Josh. It was a good episode.
Good stuff. What are we going to do?
We're going to tie a little bow on this one.
And if you guys want to catch us, we got the pre-production meeting, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube, and the pre-prod pod on Insta and TikTok. We're bringing TikTok back this year, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next week. See ya.